I want to suggest to you that the economic and financial crash is coming at a time when an American military crash is also going to take place. It's not just the US dollar that's going to crumble. No. That the United States has been led by its nose to a trap where it will overextend itself. And the one that is leading the United States, I hope they're listening to me in the American Armed Forces, the one who is leading the United States to a military trap are the Zionists who control the US Congress and the State of Israel. If Iran, there's a lecture I delivered maybe 1 week ago in Tamantun, Dr. Ismail, which is on YouTube, implications of a Zionist-Israeli attack on Iran, in which I have explained the subject in much greater detail, and we can mention here today that as soon as Israel attacks Iran, and I am anticipating that Israel would not want to deliver a knockout blow to Iran, because Israel wants Iran to remain strong. Why? Because Israel knows that Iran is going to respond by attacking the American troops in Iraq, where Iran has the advantage of geographical position. And Iran has the second advantage of the majority of the population of Iraq will be supporting Iran, because they are Shia. And even the Sunni in Iraq would want to use this opportunity to deliver the death blow to the United States, in particular, and to NATO in Iraq. And so the implication of an Israeli attack on Iran is that the United States is going to be back to the wall in Iraq, fighting for survival. I have also suggested, and remember, I can make mistakes, and I have made mistakes in the past. I am anticipating that Iran will also attack and take Bahrain, which should not be easy for them. That should not be difficult for them. And once Iran takes Bahrain, remember again the same situation, that in Bahrain the overwhelming majority would be in support of Iran, and a small and strange minority of oppressors would be opposing Iran in Bahrain. So Iran will have the majority population of Bahrain on its side, because they're mostly Shia. Once Iran takes Bahrain, then Saudi Arabia, which is now, after India, Israel's most strategic partner in the world, Saudi Arabia will now call on the United States. It's probably already prearranged. Maybe they have a secret defense treaty. And the United States Congress will ensure that the United States Army, armed forces have to respond and send American troops into Saudi Arabia. And guess what's going to happen? The United States, I am anticipating, is going to face military defeat in Saudi Arabia and Iraq from Iran, because the advantage is on the side of Iran. And if the United States uses nuclear weapons, that's it for Uncle Sam. And so we're seeing not only a financial crash taking place, but also a military crash about to take place. The wars that the United States have been waging, particularly since 9/11, and the monstrous lies which they've had to tell about 9/11. You know, I have said that there are three kinds of lies. You heard it? There are ordinary lies, and then there are great lies, and then there's 9/11. The only people who are now holding on to 9/11 and the official explanation of 9/11 are your governments and your newspapers, mainstream newspapers and television stations who know that they cannot cross the line. They are slaves and servants of you-know-who. So around the world, the people are waking up. And around the world, there's growing resentment against the United States. To the extent that I have a student here in KL who is an American, who was born in the United States, who speaks with an American accent, and is afraid to go to Pakistan. Why? Because if I go to Pakistan, although I look Pakistani, once I speak with an American accent, I'm going to be in danger. I'm going to be in danger. This growing resentment against the United States of America around the world was just demonstrated in a very dramatic way in South America. A few days ago, the heads of state of all the South American and Caribbean countries, including my own Trinidad and Tobago, met in a summit conference in Caracas to create a new organization that would replace the OAS, or the Organization of American States. The OAS, or the Organization of American States, includes Uncle Sam and includes Canada. But guess what? The new organization is called CIRAC, Community of Caribbean and Latin American Countries. They held their inaugural conference in Caracas a few days ago. And the United States and Canada are not invited to be part of this organization. Hugo Chavez announced, this is the end of the Monroe Doctrine. I'm not going to tell you what is the Monroe Doctrine. Take a note of it, and when you go home, check it out on Google. What is the Monroe Doctrine? Here is startling evidence. The creation of this rival organization called CILAC to replace the Organization of American States in such a strategically important part of the world. Evidence of the declining status of the United States of America in the world. Growing hatred, growing resentment is also leading to isolation. There's more hatred coming. Let me explain, so we can see the pieces coming together. What's going to happen when Iran is attacked? Naturally, the price of oil is going to shoot up dramatically, apart from the fact that the US dollar will be collapsing. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, it's a hadith of Sahih Bukhari, it is also in Sahih Muslim. He said about Akhiru Zaman, one of the signs of the last day, is that the river Euphrates, you have studied geography, haven't you? The river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold. But he went on to say that the believers must not touch it. We can understand if the gold came from the bank and it's riba, you don't touch that. But this is not coming from a bank. This is not the bank of Euphrates, this is the river. So this can't be haram gold. No, this is halal gold. Well, then why did he say that the believers must not touch that gold? He said that mankind will fight over that gold, and that 99 out of every 100 will be killed. Which means that it's not going to be conventional warfare, because conventional warfare don't kill 99 out of every 100 combatants. This is going to be nuclear warfare, really, or some kind of a warfare similar to nuclear warfare, which would kill 99 out of every 100, or biological warfare. So this is not going to be Tom, Dick and Harry fighting with little pistols. It has to be global warfare over that gold. If you are persuaded that the Prophet ﷺ is talking about a mountain of that metal, gold, that is your right. And nobody is going to look down upon you. But there is going to be a mountain of gold. A mountain is something very high. And it's going to come from the river Euphrates. Or maybe you might want to say, well, the Prophet ﷺ is using symbolic language when he used the word mountain. And then what he meant was a large amount of gold, because gold is normally underground, under the river. So a large amount of gold is going to come from underneath the river. Maybe you want to use that kind of interpretation of the word mountain. But there are some who say, no, mountain is mountain. And you have no right to interpret the word mountain to mean large quantity. Or you may want to allow me to offer an opinion. And of course, you know the warning. Whenever Imran Hussein gives an opinion, please do not accept it until you are convinced that it is correct. I can't do more than that, can I? I want to suggest to you that not only is the word mountain being used symbolically, but also that the word gold is also being used symbolically. And that what the Prophet ﷺ is speaking of is black gold or oil. Yes, I know. They're going to jump on my neck now. But never mind. It's a different methodology at work here from the one which reduces religion to text and insists that the text must always be interpreted literally, the Protestant version of Islam. Whereas I am offering a different methodology where I'm using, if you'll excuse me, spiritual insight to try to put the pieces together to make a meaningful whole. That the black oil, the black gold or oil, as soon as it was discovered anywhere in the world, the Zionists immediately made sure they took control of it. Everywhere in the world that oil was discovered, the Zionists ensured they took control of it. They even had control of Venezuela's oil until Hugo Chavez came along. They even had control of Iran's oil. And they engineered a coup d'etat to overthrow Muhammad Mossadegh so that they can recover control over that oil until the Iranian Revolution came along and they lost control of that oil. Why did they want to take control of oil, the Zionists?